I'm happy that this year marks our 50 years of existence as a diocese. I would say we were born in 1970 when the then Diocese of Maseno was divided into two, forming the Diocese of Maseno North and Maseno South. We have walked a long journey. It now has produced other 5 dioceses, because from this place we have had the Diocese of Maseno West, we have had the Diocese of Southern Nyanza, we have had the Diocese of Maseno East, and Maseno West has also produced the Diocese of Bondo. And so when we are celebrating 50 years, we are celebrating 50 years of great evangelism in this region, and we are proud of that. Now the climax of this celebration will be between 11th November and 15th November, where we will be having the Archbishop of the Anglican Church of Kenya, His Grace Jackson Olesapit, coming to be with us. And when he's around, he will do a series of activities. Very significant is that 2 of our churches will be consecrated within the city. We have one church called St. Barnabas in Siany, just around Baraka area, and the new St. Stephen's Cathedral. St. Stephen's Cathedral becomes very significant because it has taken a long time to build, and 2, it is a cathedral that is within the city of Kisumu, and so it is our greatest pride that the Anglican Church will have a cathedral in Kisumu. The history of St. Stephen's Cathedral dates back to the old church that we call Omollo. That was built around 1913. It was serving as an educational center, but later it remained as a church. Basically, it was a church for the African Christians, because there was the St. Peter's Church, which was in Milimani here, but it was majorly for the white population. So the blacks were confined to black areas, and of course, as you remember the history of colonialism, St. Stephen's Cathedral then was a black church. So way back in 1982, a plan was mooted of the possibility of having a new cathedral church. And this was discussed in a synod which was chaired by the then Bishop, Bishop John Henry Okulu. And through his connections with the government, we managed to acquire land where the present new St. Stephen's Cathedral stands. I remember we have had several fundraisers which were done by people who have since died. If we go to the records, we realize that the first fundraising was done by the late Moses Mudavadi, who was then a minister in Moi government. The late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, I think President Moi. Those are part of the people who presided over various arambes that were geared towards raising funds for the building of the new cathedral. And despite the number of years that it has taken to be built, it has emerged to be one of the most beautiful churches, I may say, if not in Kenya, then in East and Central Africa. At the inception, it was estimated that it would cost 30 million Kenya shillings. But when we were doing review recently in the year 2015, the cost was revised to 153 million Kenya shillings. We have not used all that money in it because we are building it in phases. But so far we have used close to 90 million in the present sanctuary.
For that reason, we are publishing a book to that effect. And this is the impression, the dummy that we have. It has very interesting history. And in fact, we are urging members, even those who are not Anglicans, to be able to buy this book. The church house is going to be a regional center. And as you know, Kisumu has always been a regional center for this, in this region. And we want to establish it, beginning with the church as the center of excellence.
In our diocese, we have more than 3,000 commissioned members of Mothers Union. Otherwise, all mothers in the Anglican Church in the Diocese of Maseno South, we work together. What is our role as members of the Mothers Union in our diocese? 1, mentorship, spiritual mentorship, psychological mentorship, economic empowerment, making sure that we work hard so that we support the work of God in our churches where God has placed us. Prayer is the key. Praying for our families, praying for our children, praying for our neighbors, praying for the whole nation. Let us all come up very strongly as members of Mothers Union to continue with the works that we have been doing.
We thank God to have given us this diocese and to have given us life. And also we are so grateful as a committee to serve in this committee, to see to it that it becomes a celebration well organized. I want to thank members of my committee for having worked so hard to an extent that now we are going to roll out the programs with effect from next week when the Archbishop will be visiting the diocese. The whole activities have been supported by so many people up to this level. I want to thank the Governor of Kisumu for having supported the whole, having supported the exercise. The immediate former city manager has been very instrumental, despite the fact that she is an Anglican. The bishop himself with his friends, our few friends and Christians from the diocese and by extension other dioceses have been really supported us. We want to welcome everybody, all Christians, let's come and celebrate despite the fact that it is during these difficult moments of COVID. But we are going to observe the Ministry of Health protocols to enable us sit the number that can only be sat, and other activities will go on as had been planned earlier. But I want to assure Christians that all precautions have been put in place, and we are looking forward to a good celebration with the Archbishop come the 15th day of this month.